Hoopshype, they released their top 10 rookie rankings. They had Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren. They were both in the top 10. I don't know. I was a little surprised where they were. There's a lot of Pistons fans that actually agreed with Hoopshype. And they had Jaden Ivey at number 6 behind Paolo Banchero. He was number 1. Jalen Williams, number 2. Walker Kessler was number 3. Benedict Mathurin, number 4. Keegan Murray at number 5. And then they had Jalen Duren at number 8 behind Jaden Ivey and Jabari Smith Jr. of the Houston Rockets. So 2 of our rivals right up there. And then, we got a Sacramento King who we also dislike. So maybe even 3 of our rivals were ahead of our beloved Pistons. Did you agree with this ranking, though? Do you agree with Jaden Ivey being number 6? Or can you make a case for him being higher on this list?
I thought he should have cracked the top 5. I probably would have put Keegan Murray higher and I would switch Jaden Ivey with Benedict Mathurin. Just because I think Ivey, if you look at where he started and where he ended, to me, I thought Ivey this past season was a top 5 rookie in his draft class. As for Duren, I think top 10 is respectable. Obviously, the one center that did crack the top 3, Walker Kessler, I thought he had a good season, but I'm starting to think the hype that he gets, like, I don't want to label him overrated, but dude, he gets a lot of freaking hype.
Who, Walker Kessler?
Yeah, like the hype he's been getting, I was just like, yeah, he's good, but he's not that good.
I gotta pull this up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at Jalen Williams, and I'm a fan of his game. I do think that if Jalen Williams and Walker Kessler were in a role like Jaden Ivey was last year, they'd be talked about a little bit differently. Because Jaden Ivey, he was not playing on a healthy team. He was playing out of position at point guard. I mean, it was great that he got to learn. I thought that was huge. He developed as a playmaker. That's huge for his game going forward. But he did not have the luxury of playing with Cade Cunningham. He did not have the luxury of playing with Bojan or Alec Burks, for the entirety of the season. Isaiah Stewart was out as well. All of those guys played less than 60 games. So, but Jalen Williams got to play with the healthy Shai, got to play with the healthy Josh Giddey, and a few other people on the Oklahoma City Thunder. But they were taking eyes. He had a great second half. I think the last 20 games of this rookie year, he's averaging over 18 a game. I think Jalen Williams was. I could be wrong about that, but I want to say it was like the last 20 or 25 games he just went on a tear. But he had the luxury of playing with Shai and Josh Giddey, taking eyes off of him defensively, even though he is a huge part of their future going forward. But that's a luxury, and I think you need to acknowledge that. And I think if he was playing in the Jaden Ivey role, like had to do pretty much all of it for the Oklahoma City Thunder, like Jaden Ivey had to do for the Pistons, we'd be talking about him differently. And I feel like the same way with Walker Kessler. He had that luxury of only playing 20 minutes per game. You can look real good in 20 minutes. There's a lot of things you can do. That's not enough time for you to really make mistakes. So it's cool that he made Team USA. He's a phenomenal shot blocker. He's probably going to be he's honestly like his shot blocking will probably put him in the Defensive Player of the Year candidates for like the next decade. You know what I'm saying? Still has a little bit of room to grow offensively. But again, if you put him in a role where if he is the focus, his season would have went a little differently, I believe. And it's cool that they're both in the top 3. I'm with you. I would have had Jaden Ivey a little bit higher because I think he had a phenomenal rookie season. I think he really grew from game 1 to the final game of the season. And I just feel like it's just being overlooked by a lot of people. Like, people don't want to acknowledge the rookie year Jaden Ivey had. And I talked about it before. That's what pisses me off. That's the annoying part, that they just don't want to talk about Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, like, when I looked at this list from Hoopshype, their top 10 rookie list from this past season, I thought Paolo Banchero and Jaden Ivey were the 2 rookies that had the most responsibility.
Yeah.
Paolo has to be, the number 1 option, the main option, the guy. He was the first overall pick for a reason. And then Jaden Ivey was kind of just thrown out there starting next to Cade Cunningham for 12 games and then sharing, backcourt minutes with Corey Joseph, which it's no, slight at Corey Joseph, NBA champion, veteran, but, he didn't really have the luxury, to your point, of, playing with the SGA, playing with the Josh Giddey, playing with the OKC team that had a very good season last year. And Benedict Mathurin, by the way, Benedict Mathurin, he started maybe a couple of games, but mostly he was coming off the bench. He was putting up numbers against number twos, not number ones. Jaden Ivey had to, guard the best point guards and shooting guards every night. And to not have him in the top 5, I'm not too mad at it, but I thought he deserved, a top 5 consideration. That's just my opinion. I'm trying not to be a Piston slappy and drink the Kool-Aid, but the way I'm just kind of talking myself into it, I think he should be a top 5 in consideration with this list that they did put out.
So here's some stats. Well, here's one stat. So Jalen Williams, he had 21 games where he had less than 10 points as probably the third option on Oklahoma City, maybe even the fourth option. And it's not, and I mean, some of these games he wasn't getting a ton of shots, but we're talking about him like he lit the world on fire offensively. But Jaden Ivey, who was the focus of defenses, only had 5 games where he had less than 10 points. So I don't know. It just seems like we're overlooking Jaden Ivey because he had, again, a really great rookie year, but we seem to be acknowledging Jalen Williams having a great second half because I don't think he wasn't doing it all year round. He had some bad games to start the season, but that part gets overshadowed because you were playing with an all-NBA first-team player. Again, Jalen Williams had a great rookie year, but in my opinion, I don't think he should be ranked higher than Jaden Ivey. And that's the fan in me talking. But when I'm looking at the numbers, what Jaden Ivey had to go through his rookie year without playing with, Bojan, Cade, Burks, Isaiah Stewart for a good chunk of the season, he showed up. And I don't think a lot of these other guys that are ranked higher than him could have done it.
Maybe Paolo. That's about it.
Paolo, but I'm not talking about him.
Yeah, but I do agree with you. I think they all benefited from having good teammates around them. But, hey, it's rookie rankings. I still think Jaden Ivey could average 20 points a game. And I know we're probably going to get into that later in the podcast, predicting stats. But that's how highly I think of him. I think he's a really great player.